Hello and welcome to Torpid Cast. Once again, we are back from hiatus. And not exactly sure how the volume is right now. We'll see, it should be okay. But I've got a little bit of a new setup here. Adjusted the height that I'm at. Bit of a better height for the monitors. But yeah, things are different. The positioning of the mic is slightly different. And I'm not sure how it sounds. But I'm going to roll with it. I think it should be fine. Let me know in the comments down below. We've got flat white coffee, so the times are good. All the times. All times are good. Yeah, it might be a little bit to get back into the pacing of casting. We've got a very annoying Lictor Alpha here by Todd, but getting cooked quite hard there by the Force Commander, and nice play there by Kingfisher. For a second there, denies the attempted decap from Todd. Todd probably should have waited in infiltration until the FC left before going for the decap, or at the very least going for the decap when the FC wasn't right next to him. Would have bought him a little bit more time. Fisher did get lucky that he procced the special straight away, but I think he would have been alright anyway. Fisher needs to be careful right now because he has Hormagaunts in retreat path, and losing a tactical marine right now would be very bad for his economy. Let's see if the Hormers can grab one. Yeah, they didn't even go for it. I think they should have. There was a chance. I'm not sure how exactly the Termagants distributed their damage, but if they all went into this dude, I think there would have been a chance to take him out. No flesh hook, apparently. I'm not sure where he used that. Or maybe he does have flesh hook actually, it's probably just infiltration, isn't it, that's drained all that energy. So you can pull him back right now into the Termagant fire. There you go. That was bad timing by Todd. He does it just when one of the Termers isn't doing anything, but it doesn't matter, the FC's not got enough HP. Gonna have to retreat. Second scout has been busy capping up the map this side. To counter that, Todd is going to use his half HP Hormers to take the contested. Really, Fisher should have been responding, I think, with this scout squad. I guess he wants the two ranged units still in play here in order to be able to kite the Lictor. But honestly, probably not worth it. Early on, before you have all your upgrades, before you have tier 1.5, you're not going to win the fights against the Nids. And I think it's just better to stay even on the map control and take less fights than to try and outbleed them. Right now he's risking losing attack. He's playing very bold here, going for the kill on the Lictor with the Battlecry, and he might get it. So lucky to not lose attack. What the hell? How the Termers did not manage to kill one, I do not know. Yeah, I feel your pain, Todd. I feel your pain. And the scouts are going to go into melee because these Termers are only down to 2 models. And that is the Tyranids routed. But he did take this side of the map, and he's going to full retreat, basically. Recoup everything, but yeah, the fact that he didn't lose the tack means that that is actually an amazing engagement for Fisher. No bleed, and he's getting all the map. Warriors should be able to finish this, yeah, finish him off, make him retreat before they can get the decap. That's because of their leaf? I was reading beefcakes. Leap into combat, which would have knocked them over. But still, huge pressure here from Kingfisher. He's now going for ASM. Needs to drop another gen or get shotguns. Or another war gear. Drops his gen, nice timing. 2 gens up for Todd, we'll see what Todd goes for next. He does have feeder tendrils, which is why he is where he is right now. Nids should generally get out more units than the Space Marines. Had he not gone for feeder tendrils, he wouldn't be far off getting the Raveners, certainly as well if he didn't also have Toxin Sacks. You basically have Ravs on the way already. But he's opted for the feeder tendrils and the Toxin Sacks. We'll see how it does. You do want to get the Toxin Sacks eventually. Whether or not you get it before your 5th squad in tier 1, well, that's debatable. But yeah, with the leap here, yeah, catches that squad out. And with feeder tendrils on the Lictor, I don't think the ASM want this fight. They will certainly beat the Warriors on their own, but a lot of decent damage coming out of the feeder tendrils. It is power melee, 63.75. Really quite a lot of power melee. Wow, and he goes in for another jump. Now that is a mistake from Todd. Overcommitment for sure. Loses a model for it. I was going to say, now that he's lost a model, he should stay in for a bit. But man, look at that Lictor. Chunking through that ASM squad. Quite a brave Force Commander as well, coming out with not a lot of HP. I don't really think this is a good idea. No, terrible idea. Oh my god. Yeah, feeder tendrils gobbles him up fast. Remember, you do take less damage from normal melee with your commander armor, so the power melee there from the feeder tendrils is making this even more than the 50 DPS to 63.75 DPS, because this is doing full damage and the normal melee weapon wouldn't. So yeah, very good, effective DPS increase against heroes. Artificer armor was in the way for the FC, and he's in a really awkward position now, Kingfisher, because he can't get that money back for the upgrade while it's queued up and his hero's dead. So that's a lot of money that he's dumped on that hero, which is now not doing anything. So a really big error there from Kingfisher, probably mitigating all the advantages he had in winning that earlier engagement without taking any bleed. No energy for a second jump, unfortunately. May have been able to get the Lictor Alpha if he had that second jump. But Termagants are going to get routed here. They'll finish this cap, which is fine. Bit of an odd burrow strike there. ASM could just go into melee and beat up these Raveners. They're taking their time with it now, though. They've lost quite a bit of HP from the Devourer shots, but with the supporting fire and the scouts, they're okay. And we had the Tax go this side. Maybe they were meant to queue up a Flamethrower, and he's mistaken, because they are precariously stood there looking at gens. If they had Flamethrower, it'd be great, but they unfortunately do not. And we did, of course, see the Raveners. Oh, this is a bit weird. Barb Strangler as well. I don't like that. I really don't like that. What's the point of that? You're only fighting one tack. You're fighting an FC, not a Bolter, APO, not a Tech Marine. There's ASM, not Devastators. What's the point of the Barb Strangler? The ASM are the counter to the Barb Strangler, and if you think about scaling, you can get the Thorax Swarm. Okay, but you can't keep it if you get the Adrenal Glands, in which case it was mostly a wasted investment. And I'm sure you want the Adrenal Glands to make your warriors tankier to scale against the ASM. This does mean you can keep it with a Thorax Swarm, but if you really wanted the Thorax Swarm, you could get it anyway without getting the Barb Strangler. I just really don't like this investment. It's very expensive. It slows the warriors down, so they're more susceptible to the FC. And I don't get the point of it. The ranged AoE suppression is really good against ranged squads, but there's not that many. They're not close ranged squads that move very fast like the scouts. We've got a massive engagement going on right now. ASM attempting the wipe on the Homers, but they retreat in time so they don't get knocked over by the jump. Good play by them. Termas should be focusing these scouts. The Lictors on it as well. They're in trouble. But yeah, the Warriors just not really able to do anything to get rid of this very tanky Artificer Armor Force Commander right now. No Toxin Sacks on the second Termagant, and that is probably a large contributory factor there in the FC being unkillable. That was a Ravener dying as well. Expensive stuff. Finally gets the crippling poison online, but he cripples the ASM who are already in melee. Really should have crippled the FC late on the Flesh Hook. It was in fact countered by the Battlecry there. So a bit of a series of misplays here from Todd. Man, look at this Force Commander. Level 2 at this point. Just bleeding so many models. So hard to deal with the Artificer Armor. Really good purchase. My goodness, he's nearly wiped the squad. Jesus. And now he's in melee with the other one. Yikes. What a pain in the arse. He's now risking down to Homers though. Yeah. Gotta get out of there. I'm not sure about this positioning on the Tax. Suppress them with the Bow Strangler, eat them with the Homers. Yeah, Todd was a little slow there. They are going to get the decap. But he lost this area. Did Kingfisher. Pushing out, taking it back. Definitely behind on the map control now, but that's expected early on against Nids. Space Marines get their real powerful assets in Tier 2 to fight the Nids. The Razorback, which is amazing due to the speed that it has, can easily outmaneuver a Venom Brood and avoid it, whilst conveying Plasma Gun Tactical Space Marines, which are very good at piercing the Heavy Infantry Warrior Brood, or the Heavy Infantry Venom Brood, which is meant to counter the Razorback. The Razorback's speed gives you the upper hand on map control, which is something you direly need against the much faster infantry of the Tyranids. But it looks like the full army here of the Tyranids is in play. Oh wow, Scout's going to get wrecked by the Flesh Hook. And that's it, taken out. Too slow to retreat them with a double Termas firing in. Needed to get rid of them a long time prior. An ASM, in fact, losing quite a lot of HP. We do have the melee Raveners staying in play in spite of the Razorback Overwatch fire, trying to get that model on the ASM, and they do get it. Wow, 2 models on the ASM, but no Sergeant now. I would expect to see the Thunderhammer coming out for the Force Commander right now. Imagine if he had the Thunderhammer with Battlecry right now, doing that AoE knockback guaranteed. Be very powerful. What a lucky pick up there with the Chainsword on the Warrior Brood, who are going to be getting the 4X Swarm. I mean, it gives them the ability to zone the Razorback, but again, of course, the Razorback has a lot longer range than the Warrior Brood, 4X Swarm, Electroshock Grubs. But what you do is you hide the Warriors like behind these shot blockers, and then the Razorback has to drive around to get you, and when it does, you can come out and snag it. So it zones the Razorback. If I've got Warriors here, the Razorback can't drive down here or here, so it protects any infantry that I'm roaming around. Well, I mean, it can drive there, but it will get hit by an Electroshock Grub. Plasma guns are out. We use the global from the Lictor Alpha to call in the Venom Brood here to try and dissuade the Razorback, but it's no good. When the plasma attacks are going to just force melee on your Venom Brood, you need some melee to protect the Venom Brood. And that's why you need, generally, Adrenal Gland Warriors buffing your Homers and your melee Ravs. But he doesn't have that buff now, because he's gone for 4X Swarm instead. So it leaves the Ravs relatively squishy, we'll see. Some Stern Guard would be pretty amazing right now for the composition of King, and given that he lost one of his scouts, I think it would be a good idea. It'd be risky if he still had the 2 scouts, because it could be an over... just getting too much infantry, you risk too much upkeep, you risk bleeding too much. But I think losing the 1 scout puts him in a decent position actually to get another infantry squad out, and he will need the capping power as well. Alternatives could be going for a Dreadnought and just overwhelming the AV potential of Todd. Or you could go for the Librarian. It's also got capping power, right? But it is not quite as durable as the Stern Guard squad, and obviously it's not a ranged unit. But in instances like this, where the nids are blobbing like crazy, Smite could be pretty good. And it's another tool to go into melee with the Venom Brood. Get the ASM distracting the main Tyrannid melee units, and then you can use your Librarian to tie up the Venom Brood. Shoot off some big smites when it is necessary. So Venom Brood has sneaked down this way. Most of the Space Marines went to the left, it seemed. Or back to the base. So give a nice opportunity there for the Venom Brood to get some gem bashing done. And quite brave to send in the Razorback so fast. Yeah, just drops the smoke. But I mean, you've took a lot of damage and there's only 1 scout. You've got to remember that this damage on a vehicle is in some way similar to upkeep. I mean, it doesn't drain your requisition directly, but it does indirectly, because then you've got to spend time with scouts repairing this damage off at the rate of 10 HP per second. And any time that you spend doing that with scouts, it's time that scouts aren't capping rec points, VPs, and power points. So it is a drain. It's a map control drain. So it's a misplay right there by Fisher to send the Razorback in and concede this damage for no reason. But it's not a large misplay, obviously. Okay, Kingfisher goes for a 2nd scout. He wants the map control, he wants the repairs. Reliable repairs on the Razorback, that's fine. The other thing is Lictor obviously can infiltrate, so having extra scout squads means you could get double scout sergeants, and then you've got 2 units that can detect him. Homers just need to retreat here, they're bleeding unnecessarily. A little slow on that one, Todd, but not too big of a deal. Lost maybe 2 models more than he should have. Lone Hunter coming in for the Lictor Alpha, so he might see the Toxic Cyst as well to make him as tanky as he can kind of get, and then he would actually put up a good fight against these 2. But the alternative is you get the Deadly Leap, which gives him more mobility and utility later on if you've got to tie up range squads. Oh, the Electroshock Grub actually caught the Razorback somehow. Must have been exploiting these line of sight blockers, and he caught it, and then that allowed the Venom Brood to finish it off. Unfortunately, no ASM nearby to jump on the Venom Brood because they were too busy on the other side of the map. So a bit of a misposition there as well with Todd. What I would say is with your composition when you're fighting the Tyranids and you've got your Razorback running around, you need to make a choice. Give the Force Commander the teleporter pack, and then escort the Razorback with the FC so that he can teleport on a Venom Brood if the Razorback needs saving. Or send the Force Commander with, let's say, Iron Halo Thunderhammer with the tax. The Force Commander then can protect the tax from any melee, and the two of those units will basically beat the whole fucking Tyranid army except Tyrant Guards. And even then, the Tyrant Guard gets wrecked by the Plasma Gun. And then if you do that, then you can have the ASM go with the Razorback and the Scouts, and the ASM can jump on the Venom Brood. And then when the melee tries to counter the ASM, they get shot by the Razorback, and then you move in Shotgun Scouts to support the ASM. So Kingfisher messed that up there, because they had the FC escorting the Razorback, but the FC didn't have a teleporter pack. So he was in the wrong position once the Razorback got hit by the electroshock grub, and that led to the Razorback being taken out. Now, that actually opens up a window now that the Razorback has died for Todd to get to tier 3 without needing further units. If that Razorback was still running around the field and Kingfisher decided to get another unit in tier 2, a Dreadnought, Todd going to tier 3 here could lose the game. He's already behind on VPs, and it could really put him in a very bad spot where he's not going to be able to win, because he just can't win any engagements whilst he's waiting for his Swarm Lord or his Carn effects, most likely. And Todd would probably counter that by getting something like a Tyrant Guard to keep the pressure on and help handle a Dreadnought. Tyrant Guard is really good against the FC as well because you can't knock it over. But he did lose the Razorback, so right now Todd's actually alright. He'll be able to handle this composition quite well. He needs to be careful with these warriors though. He's running them around. Wow, quite lucky that that Plasma missed. Okay, no, he's got the ASM under control of Crippling Poison anyway. Plasma attacks, putting in the work, man. Need to retreat. Going for a grenade. Dodged. Oh, they did get the other model off the Raveners. Wow. I didn't think they were gonna. Damn. Yeah, Plasma attacks putting in serious work. Level 3.5. Question is then, what is Todd gonna do in tier 3? Kingfisher is also going tier 3 right now, but as you can see, he's losing the map control pretty fast from losing that Razorback. He just does not have the forces on the ground right now to fight very well.
Additional units have become available, Commander.
You just get flesh ups and lost another model. Nearly level 3 on the Lictor. Termers have done quite good, to be honest. Shocked to not see any more upgrades on the FC. He's so powerful in the Tyranid matchup. I'm not sure the Lone Hunter's really paid off, to be honest. I'm not seeing him really use that. The problem for the Lictor against Space Marines is he can get controlled when he goes for the melee build, just with shotguns and Merciless Strike and jumps and Battle Cry. He doesn't have any way to mitigate knockback, and that can be a problem for him.
One of our generators is under attack.
It also makes Feeder Tendrils kind of bad, but then again, Space Marines are the lowest damage race as well, so that does feed into Feeder Tendrils being good. But okay, wipes the Warrior Brood there, catches them out, they were too slow to retreat. Oh shit, we've got Death Spitters. Oh yeah, nice, yeah, he killed the Razorback, he obviously didn't go for improved Synapse, so now he can swap to Death Spitters. Yeah, that's nice. It's one of the nice things with this upgrade on the Venom Brood, if you do avoid going for improved Synapse too early, then once you kill the vehicle, if you kill the vehicle, you can swap to Death Spitters, which are, if you don't know, Inferno DPS guns. So they're kind of like Mark of Tzeentch Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines. Good against all targets, so the heavy infantry, the Space Marines, doesn't protect them. They don't do bonus damage to heavy infantry like Plasma, they just do a flat 100%. Whereas Plasma does less to light infantry but bonus to heavy infantry. So there is a bit of an irony there. You go for this weapon to be able to deal with heavy infantry better, but ironically, Plasma guns will still beat you. But it's just a good weapon against everything. Keep them in the back, they'll hurt scouts, they'll hurt the hero, they'll hurt everything. We do see a Carn effects as the choice for Todd. But hey, Kingfisher has managed to accumulate quite a lot of resources. He's actually ahead in wreck income right now than Todd. Way more now that the Carn effects has hit the field. Upkeep is real, kids. Lictor for some reason didn't want to fight the FC. Don't know why. I would have made him use Battlecry and then run off. You would easily 1v1 him with the Lone Hunter buffs and this weapon. Shit, even with just this weapon you'd 1v1 him. And Kingfisher's gone for ranged Terminators. So we could get the classic 1-2 here, Terminators into a Predator. That'd be very effective with a melee Force Commander, but you could also go for the Terminator Force Commander as an option. No commitment on the Carnifex yet in terms of, whoops, in terms of whatever variant he wants. And this is once again where not having Adrenal Gland Warriors is a bit of a bitch. Then again, he doesn't have any warriors right now. Like, the Venom Brood will do okay damage with the Death Spitters, but they can't stand and trade with the insane HP on the Terminators. You need to tie them up with melee first, and we do have a form back Carnifex, okay. Alright. Yeah, they want to teleport out of there fast. What on earth is he doing? Where did he burrow? Oh, he just retreated, okay. Yeah, because this is the problem. The Terminators are holding the line on the south side of the map, and the ASM and Double Scouts are dominating over here. It's going to be hard for him to take this on, actually. Good thing with having Termagants in the late game against Terminators is Terminators don't retreat, and you've got that crippling poison to snare them. You can definitely set up some wipes if you do that after you've got into melee with them. Yeah, let's see how the Lictor can do. I'm shocked to not see Toxic Cysts on the Lictor. Gives him more max HP, and when he deploys the Cysts, he heals 100 to 150 HP in like 10 seconds, so it's pretty good in combat regen. Gonna lose the Lictor if he doesn't retreat in time. He does, so he avoids the knockback. But yeah, default Hormagaunts running towards level 4 attacks and level 2 Shotgun Scouts. Not going to go too well for the Hormers. So they're just avoiding combat now. And the Carnifex for some reason is bashing the Gens. Not a good use of the Carnifex at all. Power Fist? I don't think Flesh Over Steel works against the Carnifex, right? Unless it was changed. Maybe it was, I'm not sure. Never used to work. Beautiful special attack there. Oh, they changed it to work against the Carnifex. Wank. That is wank, dude. That is wank. Fucking hell, man. I hate some of these changes. They have nerfed Carnifexes in like 16 fucking thousand different ways. So you can hit Carnifex and Tyrant Guards with Flesh Over Steel now. I don't think he had to retreat, really. I'd have gone for a kill on the Terminators. Suppose there's a risk that Missile Tactical Marines could come over. He's going for Gene Stealers, but I wouldn't bother. I'd just get a Neurothrope. If you don't have Adrenal Gland Warriors, Gene Stealers are so fucking squishy. You're going to get kind of wrecked. Just go for a Neurothrope. You can stun this twat in place with the Soul Drain thing, so he can't move. You hit these fuckers with Paroxysm, you do about 18% of their HP each Paroxysm, and then you CC these things off of points with Cataclysm, and you're laughing. Protect it with effects, so they can't go into melee. This stuns, right? Does it? When they emerge? I feel like it stuns. Go! Oh my god. Ravenous, you're dying! It does stun, yeah. So that's a good option as well against Terminators. Terminators hate stuns. It's not a very long stun there. And these Ravenous are low on HP. Again, because there is no Adrenal Gland Warrior nearby. Hey, the Gene Stealers have got into melee with Plasma Attacks though. They'll like that matchup. And even though they've got low HP, the Plasma Attacks can't just bully their way through them in melee because they've got way too high melee skill. They'll flip the Tactical Marines over constantly and tear through them with their power melee, which is what we're seeing. One tack dying there. But now we've got a Pred coming. Yeah, it's going to be rough. Because Gene Stealer's obviously not the best against vehicles. Even if they get that tier 3 Rending Claw upgrade, they've got to get into melee with a tank, which shouldn't happen, because they are a lot slower. Then you've got melee Carnifex, which again, shouldn't get into melee with a tank. Because it's a lot slower. So we'll see. There would have been options if he had, ironically, the Electroshock variant warriors, but he's lost them. And, of course, he swapped out his Venom Cannon to Death Spitters, so... This tank is going to be a problem, to put it mildly. You can't go back from Death Spitters to Venom Cannons, so this Venom Brood is no use. Not sure why Kingfisher doesn't have the Iron Halo. Very cheap upgrade for a lot more durability right now. I mean, look at the size of his energy pool, thanks to Artificer and the fact he's level 5. This would be a lot of extra HP if you got the Iron Halo. Man, I'm salty that you can flesh over steel the Carnifex. Feels bad. I think they did get a reduction in their upkeep because it was abnormally high for some reason. I mean, it only puts them at the same level as walkers per pop. I think they're more pop still. But it was even worse before. It was costing more pop than walkers per... It was costing more upkeep per pop than walkers. But then the special got nerfed. But it does still do reasonable damage. Let's see, how is the orbital bombardment going to do? Oh, he didn't finish off the scout squad. He would have if he turned around and swung, but he missed the opportunity. Did that get a wipe? I don't... Raveners? Nope, Raveners are alive. I don't think that got a wipe. And here's Flesh over Steel again, causing problems. But the tank is weighing in, and that's a huge issue. Yeah, I'm afraid that special on the Carnifex now is quite a bit impotent compared to what it used to be. That's sad. Man, poor Carnifex. The Wraithlord got the same treatment. Not sure, I think that was about 3 patches ago, 2 patches ago, something like that. Massively reduced the damage of the special, basically cut it in half. I mean, the bitch slap was famous for how powerful it was, but... Yeah, Power Fist just totally shut down these things. The extra damage that it's contributing, just having him constantly poking him. And you can't get rid of him, he just doesn't have enough DPS. The Termers, well, one of them got wiped. Likewise, Terminator's too strong right now, just too much HP. Just... Todd missed the opportunity really and got wrecked by the end game of the Space Marines. He didn't get ahead in tech as much as he really needed to. I mean, I say that, he is currently losing attacks as Kingfisher, but I mean, he can't kill the Terminators or the Predator can Todd, so ultimately it is good. Fuck me, now there's Assault Terminators, yeah, okay. Alright, Kingfisher, fucking hell, we get it, mate. Yeah. Todd not happy with the balance. I mean, plenty of opportunities there to win that game for him. I'd say this is probably not the best map for Nids, but a pretty good game actually, to be honest with you. Pretty decent skill displayed by both sides here, not too bad. I might upload it on Sloppy Saturdays, but if I do, it was a good game and it certainly slaughters the skill demonstrated in most of the Sloppy Saturdays. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. This was the first one I've cast since I got off my hiatus. It might not be the first one that gets uploaded, whatever. But yeah, let me know down in the comments down below how you found it. Were the volume alright, that kind of thing. And are you happy to be back? And have a wonderful festive season. Even if you're lonely and depressed. It'll end. And there'll be another one to get depressed about next year. Peace, Torpid out.